brace yourself, because the alternative is that what we are actually seeing is misidentified technology.
Sitting in the middle of it is this human figure who's holding this strange bag in his hand.
At first glance, it looks like nothing, a simple stone pouch carved into temple walls. But from the hills of Turkey to the jungles of Mesoamerica, the same symbol reappears, unchanged, unexplained, and undeniably global. Now, a forgotten Sumerian tablet and an ancient flood myth reveal why this handbag may not be a bag at all. So, today we follow its trail across millennia, starting with the place where it first appeared, carved in stone before history even began. The shape that shouldn't exist. It sits quietly on a pillar in southeastern Turkey, unnoticed by most who visit the ruins of Göbekli Tepe. A small, boxy shape with a curved handle, etched into limestone by hands that lived over 13,000 years ago. At first, it seems inconsequential, overshadowed by the towering T-shaped monoliths and their vivid carvings of animals, birds, and abstract beings. But then, it appears again, and again, repeated on multiple pillars, carved with care yet lacking the overt drama of the other motifs. This humble icon, resembling a handbag, refuses to disappear. The real mystery begins when it shows up in places it should never be, thousands of miles away, in the carved reliefs of ancient Assyria, nearly 9,000 years after Göbekli Tepe's prime. The same pouch, this time in the hands of winged figures called Apkallu, sprinkling sacred substances during temple rituals. Then again, among the statues and stelae of Mesoamerica, clutched by deified rulers and mythic figures in the Olmec and Maya traditions. Still again, it emerges in Egyptian hieroglyphs, beside pharaohs or suspended from ceremonial belts. And in Polynesian legend, the 3 sacred baskets of knowledge carried by Maui echo the same silhouette, this time not carved, but told, passed from voice to voice through generations. There is no evidence of direct contact between these cultures. No shared language, no overlapping trade routes, no surviving message carried between them. Yet, across deserts, oceans, and centuries, they arrived at the same image, a symbol that lingered, unchanged, a shape that defied isolation, the same small pouch, always there, always sacred, always just out of reach in meaning. Göbekli Tepe and the origins of symbolic thought. To understand how this symbol took root, we begin at Göbekli Tepe, the oldest known temple complex on Earth. Long before the pyramids of Egypt or the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, before farming, metallurgy, or the wheel, a group of hunter-gatherers in southeastern Turkey erected a monumental sanctuary. Radiocarbon dating places its earliest layers around 11,600 before the Common Era. These builders had no cities, no written language, and no domesticated crops. Yet they shaped multi-ton stone pillars into circles, aligned with the heavens, and adorned them with astonishing symbolic detail. Among the carvings, foxes, vultures, scorpions, and abstract human figures sit 3 peculiar shapes, uniformly square at the base, with a semicircular arc above. Positioned side by side, they're easy to overlook, but their repetition is deliberate. These are not decorations, nor are they part of any animal anatomy. Their careful symmetry and prominence among sacred animals suggest intentionality, possibly even reverence. Some archaeologists argue they represent ritual containers, vessels to hold offerings, sacred herbs, or ceremonial tools. Others believe they symbolize portals or thresholds, bridging the world of the living with the divine. But all agree, their presence challenges our assumptions about early humans. The builders of Göbekli Tepe weren't just surviving, they were imagining. They carved symbols that meant something, symbols that lasted, symbols that still speak in silence. This wasn't an isolated act of art. It was a moment of cultural awakening, a moment when abstract thought found form in stone. The handbag may have been one of humanity's first attempts to capture the invisible, to give shape to ritual, memory, and cosmic belief. And it wouldn't be the last. Sacred tools and ritual technology. Centuries passed, civilizations rose and fell, and yet the symbol persisted, this time reappearing in the heart of ancient Assyria. In the towering palaces of Nineveh and Nimrud, carved stone reliefs line the walls with scenes of myth, magic, and divine order. Among these, winged beings, often interpreted as protective spirits or Apkallu sages, stand tall, each carrying two distinct objects, a cone in one hand and a curved-handled bucket in the other. Once again, the familiar handbag shape emerges, not in isolation, but as part of a deliberate ritual. Scholars have long puzzled over these paired items. The cone is believed to be a pine cone or date palm flower, both used in ancient agricultural rites. The bucket, made of leather, bronze, or woven fiber, was likely filled with holy water, oil, or pollen. Together they form the tools of a sacred act, sprinkling their contents onto kings, altars, and sacred trees in ceremonies of purification, blessing, and fertility. These were not simple bags. They were instruments of divine renewal, carried with solemn purpose, used to link the earthly and the divine. Unlike the ambiguous symbols at Göbekli Tepe, here the function is clearer. The container held essence, something transformative, life-giving, or sanctifying. And yet, even with this clarity, the object remained more than practical. It was elevated, appearing only in the hands of gods, priests, or mythical guardians. It held not food or coin, but power. It signified access to something intangible, something transcendent. This blending of utility and spirituality turns the handbag into something more, a portable temple, a vessel of cosmic connection. And as it appears again, thousands of years later, continents away, that meaning only deepens. Echoes across oceans. Thousands of miles from Assyria, in the humid jungles of southern Mexico, the same symbol appears once more, this time in the hands of ancient Mesoamerican rulers and deities. Among the Olmec, Maya, and other early civilizations, carved stelae and bas-reliefs depict figures holding small, box-shaped pouches, their curved handles unmistakable. These objects, like their Old World counterparts, never appear casually. They are cradled with purpose, often in ceremonial poses, evoking power, reverence, and divine connection. But how could cultures with no known contact, separated by vast oceans and millennia, arrive at the same shape with the same symbolic weight? Some scholars suggest convergent symbolism, the recurring human need to represent containers of meaning, physical or metaphysical. In Mesoamerican cosmology, sacred bundles called tetzitl were wrapped collections of relics or ritual items believed to hold the spirit of gods. These were revered not for what they looked like, but for what they contained. The handbag, then, may have represented that same sacred function, a vessel not for possessions, but for essence. Further south, in the oral traditions of the Maori in New Zealand, the motif takes narrative form. The demigod Maui is said to have brought 3 sacred baskets down from the heavens, filled with knowledge, spiritual instruction, and practical guidance for living. These baskets, passed from gods to people, contained more than wisdom. They symbolized survival, identity, continuity. And while they were never carved in stone, their shape, woven in flax and memory, mirrors that now familiar silhouette. From Anatolia to Polynesia, the handbag holds, not because of shared trade or imitation, but perhaps because of something deeper, a universal instinct to give shape to what cannot be seen, to preserve the sacred in something that can be carried. The tablet and the flood. For generations, the meaning behind the handbag symbol remained speculation, its significance hinted at through carvings, rituals, and myth. But in 2015, a discovery in the ruins of ancient Nippur offered a rare piece of textual clarity. Archaeologists unearthed a 4,000-year-old Sumerian cuneiform tablet, describing a ritual act by the god Enlil, performed after a cataclysmic flood. The text spoke not only of restoration, but of a sacred container, a bag of seeds, used to revive the land and re-establish human order. At first glance, it seems like a simple agricultural metaphor, but the tablet reveals more. The seeds weren't merely grains for planting, they were symbolic. Described as holding the essence of judgment, wisdom, and the laws of rule, Enlil's bag contained the foundations of civilization itself. This wasn't just a mythic tool, it was a vessel of rebirth, a portable cosmos. The parallels to other flood myths are striking. From Noah's Ark in the Hebrew Bible to the Sumerian tale of Ziusudra and the Hindu legend of Manu, each involves a flood that wipes away chaos, followed by a divine transmission of knowledge to restore balance. And in many depictions of post-Diluvian figures, whether Apkallu sages in Mesopotamia or the 7 sages of later traditions, there is the same object in hand, the handbag. This convergence deepens the symbol's gravity. It is no longer just a vessel of ritual or status. It becomes a survivor's toolkit, designed to preserve the very core of human order after destruction, a compact archive of what mattered most. And if it held that role once, the question becomes, who else carried it? And what exactly were they trying to save? Theories, connections, and the forbidden past. Not everyone agrees on what the ancient handbag truly represents, but almost no one denies its peculiar persistence. For author and researcher Graham Hancock, it is far more than a religious or artistic motif. He sees it as a fingerprint of a forgotten civilization, one that predated known empires and survived global catastrophe. According to Mesopotamian myths, a group of wise beings known as the 7 sages appeared after a great flood to guide humanity back toward order. They taught language, law, astronomy, agriculture, foundational knowledge that re-established society. In countless depictions, they hold the handbag. Hancock suggests this isn't coincidence. He believes the bag was a real object, possibly technological in nature, carried by survivors of an advanced prehistoric culture. Its global appearance marks the trail of these civilizers, those who journeyed across continents to seed rebirth where chaos had taken root. In his view, the bag is a portable symbol of encoded wisdom, the contents of a civilization, reduced to what could be carried and preserved. Mainstream scholars reject these ideas as speculative, unsupported by direct archaeological evidence. Yet they too acknowledge that the handbag appears only in sacred or ceremonial contexts, never mundane scenes. It belongs to gods, sages, and heroes, not farmers or laborers. This alone suggests that it signified access to something rare, powerful, and protected. Perhaps what makes the handbag so compelling is that it refuses to be pinned down. It floats between worlds, ritual and science, myth and materiality, the known and the speculative. Whether it held pollen, prophecy, or something more, its meaning may lie in what we are still unwilling to remember. These ancient handbags may be more than symbols. They could be messages, carved in stone, waiting for us to understand. Are they ritual tools, lost tech, or vessels of forgotten knowledge? Share your theory in the comments, and subscribe to join the search for ancient truths.